Hello YouTube once again. Welcome guys once again to Wakati Avenue. Alfred here. It's a very chilled Sunday and hope you guys been well. Anyway, today's topic is basically on growth. All right, I'm going to talk about growth and the importance of growth with each individual. As people, as a man, especially us, we usually have we are forced or we are required to grow in some way or somehow, or certain areas or whatever. We cannot stay in the same sort of stagnant place for a very long time. You can't be the same person you were last year. People really want to see growth in you. They want to see changes, right? Growth, basically what it is changes. But I'm going to talk specifically here in growth, because a lot of the times when people want changes in you, it's basically personal, right? They want to see you change for their benefit mostly, and they want to see you validate their own perception of you. That's mostly why change should never be because of people, right? But when I talk about growth, it's usually personal, right? It doesn't matter whether someone else wants to see you in a certain way, or someone else wants you to be what they want you to be, right? So you're growing at your own pace. You're growing to what you want to be, and you don't want to really impress people. You're not seeking validation, outside validation, but your validation comes from within. Now that's growth. But again, this doesn't come easy because if you're growing, right, it means that you've put your plans and goals in place, and you're working. You're more or less working towards those goals and your plans, and as long as you are moving towards them and you're seeing a bit of success, however small, and it's making you more really happy, or maybe you're really proud of the growth that you're seeing. Now that's really that's growth. That's success, because it has to validate you. It has to be your own version of success. So this growth thing is more or less, it comes from your purpose, having a sense of purpose, having to grow from your environment into some other area. So whatever area you decide to choose, it might be educational, it might be maybe you want to move from an area that you live in, it may be a certain situation from a relationship. Maybe you want a certain relationship, you probably have a partner or something, and you want to grow to that partner to be your wife or husband, something like that. Maybe you find that as growth. You may want to separate yourself from certain people that you think are not bringing any sort of benefit from you. That's growth in itself, because it means that now you're seeking for something that's more challenging. And of course, growth comes with challenges, and part of taking on challenges, it brings growth. And once you're able to tackle these coming challenges, these challenges that come your way, definitely you're going to grow. And specifically here, I want to tell you that it really doesn't matter how small this growth is. The best way to growth anyway, it's really growing incrementally, right? It's really taking really small steps, and that's the best way, because once you're doing if you want to take up these big goals, yes, it's right, we all have these big audacious goals, right? But you can't tackle all of them, because one thing will happen, you'll be overwhelmed. And this is why some people are too stressful, they have anxiety and all that. But if you take small steps each day, even if it's each other day. It doesn't have to be a specific day. You're doing it as long as it's frequent. You're doing frequently. Then, if you see any sort of success in that, remember you're growing, and that's the whole thing. You don't have to. Also, one thing, you can get inspired by people. A lot of people that you think are way ahead of you, right? You like to be in the same situation as them. But all I can say about that is that just take inspiration from those people, learn from them, but don't think you can get to their level, especially in a very short time. There really is no such thing as overnight success. People who you think have succeeded in a very short time, especially if the success is it's permanent and it's really making an impact, that has taken a while. It might be a year, two, depends on whatever, but it's never like a short-term thing where you can take a shortcut and do it, or like just do it on your own in a short while. No, it doesn't work that way. So you have to take these small steps. If it's possible, measure these steps. You can write them down or anything. I'm guilty of that because I would like to really do a lot of more measuring, especially when it comes to my for my training, weightlifting or my push-ups and all that. I usually don't jot them down, like if I'm able to. If last week I did better this week than last week, For example, if you're someone who who starts out with 5 push-ups, to be better, every single time you do these push-ups, you jot them down so that the following week you know that you're able to do 8 push-ups, right? Then the other week you're able to do 10 push-ups. So this way you're measuring yourself and seeing your growth going up, and in a way this will even motivate you further. So make sure you guys you also try and do this. It's very helpful. I've seen a lot of people who kind of measure their success, no matter how small. Let's not wait. You don't have to wait for this big success that you do, that you come upon. There's really no need to measure your success within that. You can do it just small little steps. You got, even say you don't usually maybe clean up your room. You rarely do that. Maybe you do it once, twice a week, but then you're able to do it in a consistent basis. Maybe more 3 times, almost every day. You make sure your environment is clean. That's success in itself. It doesn't need to be something that everybody has to see. If you see it first and say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I did this today. Wow, okay," then that will open up to you seeing other part of yourself grow. Because seeing one part, then you can recognize, hey, it doesn't need to be something huge to compliment myself. I can do just something small, just like waking up earlier, right? 4 a.m., 5 a.m., just doing those push-ups, doing small things, and then you do them frequently, in a consistent basis. That in itself is really a good thing, because it will motivate you. Like I said, it's going to inspire you to do even more of it. So those don't really neglect or bypass these small increments that you usually come across or do. And this is how growth comes about, because once you see, try and really see the small things, so that you can now apply the same sort of strategies that you used into the bigger things. But always remember that these bigger plans that you have, these bigger goals, will take a bit longer. Obviously, you cannot be a millionaire within 5 months, 6 months, or even a year. That's almost like a whole decade strategy that you may have to take upon. Taking place that also putting in mind that you also have to really come up with strategies and plans to get to where you want to be. So it's not just about sitting there and writing and doing that. No, also putting on that work day by day, and then maybe from there you can now measure that what you've done. Keeping records, like I said, I'm guilty of this. I don't keep much records. I used to journal, but I don't do it in a frequent basis. I'm hoping to go back to journaling, just writing your thoughts down, like how you feel today, how you felt compared to yesterday, your emotions or whatever, or what have you done in this day that has helped you progress, those sort of things. And you can then compare them to how you felt maybe a month ago, 2 months ago. Those sort of things really help. They might be very small or just seem minor, but they're things that really, really help in the long run, especially in the long run. So guys, yep, these growth things, you should really get motivated to do it in a very, very step-by-step way. Put your plans in order. Start executing, right? But don't start running before you can walk. You need to crawl first. You need to walk, then you can start running. All this takes time, and in due time you'll be surprised at how much you've gained. People might not see it, right? Don't worry about that. Worry more about the results you are getting, especially that they are positive. If they are negative, then you have to do something about it. So if you put your plans in place, right, your strategies, you're going to get results, whether negative or positive. They're still results. Now, how are you going to use those two outcomes is really up to you. If it's negative and you think you can't make it, you can't do it, either you change the strategy or you just quit. It's really up to you. But if you think, oh, okay, maybe I just have to tweak this a bit, or pivot here a bit, or maybe just change a bit of this, and then you try, be persistent, keep on doing it until something happens. Even if it's just a minor thing, then you're going to see something, then you're in a growth pattern, because at times people become, or they get stranded in a plateau, and then they think that they really are not making it, or they're not really doing anything. You're trying hard. Everybody, I must say, everybody does get into some sort of a plateau, in some sort of a stagnant situation. Just obviously, because you have to be tested somehow. Do you really want this? How are you going to go about it? How are you going to tackle this? And when you are able to do that, then you can now get to the next level. And what will happen is that there's a time you may even grow very much exponentially. Your growth may go from 0 to 100. Depending on what you've been doing in the last preceding situations. Of course, it's not always that easy, but it can happen. You go from 0 to 100, especially if you've been persistent, then all of a sudden things start happening. But again, it doesn't happen easy. I like to mention that, because a lot of people think that you just go start and in 1 month you get results. Nah, life isn't that easy. That's why you gotta be persistent. You gotta keep on doing it. So anyway, guys, this is about it for today. Be very much persistent. Keep on being consistent with what you're trying to learn, trying to make, whatever platform you're trying to create. Whatever business you are in, it doesn't matter. You just be very much resilient against all odds and all that. This way, at the end of it, you've got something to kind of show for it. Anyway, this has been Alfred once again for Wakati Avenue. I hope this has been very much, it has increased in your knowledge. And like I usually say, more knowledge to you guys, and peace.